Yeah, now the question would be, you know what I'm saying? He's saying that we check the ballots. You know what I'm saying? He said we checked the ballots because Trump paid both for both an independent and outside overstanding. Sterling said, "You lost the state. We've been saying this over and over. You know what I'm saying? We, which meaning them, count the ballots 3 times. Yes, I wonder when. You know what I'm saying? You should have showed the whole world that in itself. You know what I'm saying? So that proves right there that somewhere along the line, it still come out to those who weren't there to do it 3 times. It still come out to the fact that, they checked it. We really don't know. So that's propaganda in itself. You know what I'm saying? And wordplay. So we have to look at this thing from a brighter perspective. You know what I'm saying? So while he's sitting up there, the main thing to me is, he's saying that, he lost the state and continued to push. So of course, you know what I'm saying? Because he felt there was a cheat and something there. For him to even get that notion, it had to be something there. Sterling said that Trump, denial that he lost the election is, you know, creating a lot of tension and a lot of chaos. And I got news for you. When they cheat our elections and do the criminal shit they did, driving our country to the left, the right, all this chaos going on, people, protesting, talking about defund the police and border and war and bullshit and all the demon democratical chaotic witch pot that they stir, you know what I'm saying? When we look at it, this lands on their desk because you had 47 years. Trump only had 4 years. When we look at the garbage that you do, but Fulton County District Fannie Wills is expected to begin presenting her case earlier this week, and I can't wait. hmm With two witnesses in the case. You know what I'm saying? And so forth and so forth on. But who gives a flying fuck? You know what I'm saying? We see one of Putin's plane, you know what I'm saying? I hope they ain't over there sabotaging his shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we see where in mid-air, horror, Putin fighter, jet, the sedative, I guess, oh, I'm sorry, they would have put the word, his fighter jet nosedive. Why would you put the word like that? No, they got N-O by itself, SEDIVES together. That don't make no sense. No, 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 sedative dive? It's no. It's nosedive before crashing and killing crew, in mystery plunge near NATO. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, ain't no mystery plunge. Oh, no, they're probably using some form of new technology that you would sabotage the fighter jets and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're playing that dirty game. You know what I'm saying? When you come close to NATO, you know what I'm saying? To keep and sustain and put the pressure on Putin like they do in Trump. It ain't make no difference how we go. You know what I'm saying? We see many of this type of shit going on. We even see where Texas responds to migrant child dying on the bus transport to Chicago. You could respond all you want. It wouldn't have happened if you had helped the country and get the tyrant city kitty garbage that y'all doing over here influencing other countries and other people that go on your nasty ass, sick ass road, you know what I'm saying, and corrupting the government and the governors and all kinds of shit to drive the people to the left and the right and the north and the south. Same thing go all the way to South America as we see. We see the Como are Machiavellian. Comos are Machiavellian, bare knuckle brawl backstabbers, families at war with the ex governor. You know what I'm saying? He's always something with como robo. You know, como robo got problems. like any other man do. And I guess within the fam, you know what I'm saying, he got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, I never really hated Como, but I never trusted Como. There's a difference, you know what I'm saying, in the position that he was in, you know what I'm saying? But we knew the influence of this country, you know, but we see where Como, you know, they betrayed the family at war with ex-governor accusers. You know what I'm saying? This is coming by Christy Fleming 3 days ago, New York Post. This week, Como family took another hit in a blockbuster story published Monday. You know what I'm saying? Published Monday, the New York Times report that Madalena Como, Madeline Como, yeah, we see Madeline Como, the front of uh, Mario and the family, lives lived, was behind the coordinated online attack, what I'm saying, lobbed at the brother and Como accuser, smearing them as bimbos. You know what I'm saying? The damning report reviewed over 4,000 emails, text, and voice memos between Madeline and leaders of pro-Trump, pro-Como, about pro-Como Racia group We Decide New York Incorporated, which was mostly made up of older women who stood, you know what I'm saying, fervently, fervently behind the governor who resigned in disgrace in August of 2021 after a rash of women accused him of sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? To those who know the Comos, you know what I'm saying, it was all in character. They're really, bare knuckle brawlers from Queens, you know what I'm saying? When you look at it, a source told the Post, you know what I mean? A source told the Post. But we see where, Madeline 58 denies the brothers was involved in, unsavory operations to smear his accusers. But in many messages, what I'm saying, to the group, she was explicit about his knowledge and approval in just, I just hung up with with whatever again. I don't know what they're doing, and he wants you both to know how much he appreciate all your work. Madeline attorney wrote last day. All right, well, hey, the way I see it, Como did what he did, went down the road that he went, and everybody has to bear the consequences in itself. So we just got to really wait and see basically what's going on with Como in all ways, you know what I'm saying? That's a fact of the matter. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact of the matter. You know? Yeah, I mean, ain't nobody going to continue down the road, excuse me, people. Ain't nobody going to continue down the road with accusing Como of what he did because Como's not in office now. You know what I'm saying? But Kathy Hoxel is. And that's where we need to place most of our concern, you know what I'm saying, and direction as to everything she does and to make sure that what she's doing is based on the quality of life in New York, you know what I'm saying, other than some schematical game her and Como played on the people, you know what I'm saying, that led to the scandal of the nursing homes and hospitals. You see what I'm saying? Kathy Hoxel does not escape from this accusation. You know what I'm saying? In my book. Because the fact of the matter is, you were the lieutenant governor. You were the second in command, or whatever you want to call yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when he left, they put you in his place, which probably was what they wanted to do because they know after he did the damage he did, what would happen. Now she's in the spot. She comes in threatening the New Yorkers, telling them, if you don't hurry up and do this, and you don't hurry up and do that, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be forced to, you know, mm, mm, put you all under mandates and put you back under quarantine and threatening with that shit that you almost hurt New Yorkers with that in itself, and probably many people around the world. You full of shit then, just like she's full of shit now. You know what I'm saying? As we see. So we know in more ways than one, what's going on. It's not looking good. You know what I'm saying? It's not looking good. In no shape or form. We even see Biden telling New York, drop dead is a winning message. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. But we see this is coming in by Nicole, you know what I'm saying? Nicole of the New York Post. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying your last name. 22 hours ago Eastern Standard Time. But we see Mayor Greasyhead Q Ball Adams has only one strategy for the migrants crisis that has brought the city homeless shelter population to six figures. Imagine that. Wangler billions from Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? Damn, six figures. Wangler billions from Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? This gambit will continue I guess, fail as it has for years. And for two solid political reasons from national demon democratical perspective. At best, the feds and would be, appointees. New York is a solidly demon democratical state. At worst, federal aid will make the problem worse and more visible to national swinging voters. Yes, it will, because it's bullshit to begin with. You know what I'm saying? If this definition of uh, uh, insanity this definition of insanity is doing or saying the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different result. Adam qualifies. You know what I'm saying? He was at it again last week. New York have been left to deal with his crisis almost entirely on our own. He said, "We are compelling Washington to help." You know what I'm saying? Washington to help for what? You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be borrowing no money out of New York talking about a migrant crisis and Washington need to help. Your greasy head, bald headed Adams, you know what I'm saying, ass, you sat up here and went along with the whole bullshit to begin with. Let's just be frank and real. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't saying that in the very beginning till it started to happen. You know what I'm saying? But as long as it was in Texas and down in the Panhandle and all that stuff, you were fine. You know what I'm saying? But we know the corruption that has been going on in South America, Laredo and all these different towns for years. You know what I'm saying? Not just from your shitty documentaries that you used to show, but we knew y'all were doing this garbage because this is the beast within you. You see? But he ignored the fact that New York helped make this crisis. Let's just be honest. Cuba, Greasyhead Adam, Comodoro Moracia, Kathy Hochul, and many of the demon Democrats in New York is facilitating this bullshit, and that goes for black people as well. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing when somebody says something, you know, against this nonsense, the first thing y'all say is anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic. This is your favorite word, anti-Semitic. But what is anti-Semitic about a person protecting his own You know what I'm saying? This is where, like, when it comes to like racist people and stuff like that, I could kind of understand where they're coming from for protecting their own. I don't agree with them what they did to my people in no shape or form. Let's get that straight. There is never no forgiveness from me for that. But we have to move on. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You have this crisis coming in, but you facilitated it. You went along right with this whole shit. You even called New York a sanctuary city. And you know what I'm saying? So when this happened and Abbott started sending them, you know what I'm saying? Abbott did the right thing. He did send them, to a sanctuary city. So now you're complaining and saying it's a crisis when it always was. Like I said, you can't dump the whole of South America into America. It's not this place ain't big enough to hold that many people. You know what I'm saying? But yes, creepy Joe Biden has failed to secure the border. And creepy Joe Biden and Congress have failed to create and enforce irrational immigration and asylum policy, because he never was going to do that. The whole idea of the creepy Joe Biden administration is a distraction, you know what I'm saying, but a catastrophe one. Same as we had with 9/11 when Bush knocked down the World Trade Center. His crooked ass. I don't give a damn what he says. You know what I mean? You had something to do with that. And the same thing we see here with Joe Biden. You can't tell me they didn't have something to do with what we see going on in Ukraine. He's a part of NATO and probably the leader, the most mouthpiece of driving them against Russia. But meanwhile, sitting up there acting as if that they're not, because the whole idea is that's what they want to try to do is destabilize Russia and all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you got the border on the other side, you know what I'm saying, bringing in hundreds of migrants, and it's a crisis that people are focusing on in itself. So this is what they do in order to get certain things going on one side that you ain't paying attention to sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You're more concerned about this side, and it's a distraction and a garbage, and another one they chew in the witch's brew and stir in the pot. You know what I'm saying? He wanted this to happen. Don't tell me he didn't. But New York is the only city in the country bent on doing the impossible, giving every single person who arrives here from anywhere in the world for any reason, you know what I'm saying, in in define or whatever, definitely or whatever shelter. You know what I'm saying? Indefinitely, you know, shelter, whatever. What we are doing is don't is what you don't see. What we are doing is what you don't see. Any other municipality is doing. You know what I'm saying? You don't see what we're doing. You see any other municipality doing. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He sounds confused to me. Not the wordplay. New York has long had an immigration population, including people with no authorization to be in the country. But migrants always found their own black market jobs, shelters, often renting a room in a cut up box, in a cut up I'm sorry, you know, say they did a room in a cut up Queens and Bronx apartment. You know what I'm saying? This was, you know, optional, but it worked. You know what I'm saying? What doesn't work is the city of New York, you know what I'm saying, competing with tourists and businesses, travelers to buy, I guess, buy it up or whatever, bid up or whatever, the price to bid up, yeah, I guess you say to bid up the price of thousands of hotel rooms, you know what I'm saying, to house, the ultimate number of newcomers from four continents. Adams hides Mr. Cubo, you know what I'm saying, hides behind the city right to shelter obligation. But the state highest court has never ruled on the obligations bias, whether the state constitution directives directives to aid needy create a right to shelter. Adams could challenge whether this supported right appeals to people who tries to who people who I guess he's saying to people with no ties to New York City, but he hasn't. Instead, he's doing what New York did after 9/11, after the 2008 financial crisis, and during COVID, asked Washington for billions. hmm If you're a White House insider, the obvious question is what what in it for creepy Joe Biden? What's in it for creepy Joe Biden? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, a lot is in it for creepy Joe Biden. Imagine how much money he's getting from South America and probably other leaders and all kinds of cartels and all kinds of shit and Chinese people and everything underground doing biological experiment on animals and insects and sending them out in our country. Oh, they making out like a fat rat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What are the new what are New Yorkers going to do if they don't like the cold shoulder? Vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. That's right. On 9/11, New York had a Republican governor and mayor. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, imagine that. He was a Republican governor in 9/11. Yeah. Okay. During the 2008 financial crisis and COVID, the city benefited from facts that the president, during each era, Barack would not kiss Sweet Obama, and Trump had personal ties to the city. Obama is a Columbia grad. Imagine that with his cookie ass. You know what I'm saying? Biden, isn't personally tied to New York, and he knows the state won't be remotely in play next year. Well, that's what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do. That's what Cuomo, Kathy Hochul, and all the demon Democrats of New York set out to do. Yes, last year Lee Zeldin, what I'm saying, a Trumpian Republican, came close to winning the governorship, and you should have made sure that he did. That was one mistake right there that New York made that you're paying for right now. And New York State lost the Democratic House, which should have happened anyway. But we've seen where many are still hooked on the greasy balls of the even Democrats. You know what I'm saying? But these outcomes, these outcomes were because voters were fed up with state politicians over crime and equality and the quality of life, not over the national issues. So, also, so there's no political upside to sending billions to New York, but plenty of downside. And that's a fact and point blank from what I'm seeing.